Welcome back to Tuning In. This is a very special series where I'm bringing you real, live, intuitive soul sessions so you can experience this work from the inside. These are one-on-one coaching sessions, not readings, where I work directly with someone using my mind, body, spirit method, combining mindset coaching, nervous system and body awareness, intuitive guidance, and energy work. The intention here isn't just to talk about tuning in, it's to show you what it actually looks like to move through blocks, access what's in the blind spot, and create real shifts in real time. Each session is completely unscripted. I don't do any research beforehand. Everything you hear is what's coming through in the moment. These sessions are here to give you a deeper understanding of what conscious coaching really is. If you're listening, there's something here for you too. And if you're feeling called to experience this work for yourself, you can find out more about intuitive soul sessions, the mind, body, spirit method, and conscious coaching in the show notes. You'll also find details on how to book a session, or if you're feeling called to learn how to do this work for yourself or others, you can explore the conscious coaching certification program there as well. All right, let's tune in. Before each intuitive soul session, we move through a preparation to work behind the scenes, connecting with spirit, the high self, and spirit team to ground, clear, receive, and protect the energy. While this isn't shared in the episode, it allows the session to unfold from a neutral, safe, and fully supported space. How does that feel?
Wow, that was really beautiful. Like really, really, and I mean that. Like it was, it really allowed me to come into center and really be with myself and not frazzled. So that was beautiful.
Beautiful. Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad. So glad. Okay. So let's see. We kind of talked just prior to this about the intention. So if you're still okay, I'm going to tap in, see what wants to come through. And then if you have questions or you want to bring forward your intention, then we can go through that as well. Does that sound good? Okay. So the first thing right off the bat, without kind of going to my charts quite yet, I am kind of getting this heaviness feeling around almost like, and even so as I was doing just sort of the neutral clearing and the closing, there was quite a bit that was clearing and shifting. So I don't know if there's something that's been sort of, I just get the word like weighing, whether it's sort of like a decision that has been weighing on you, or there has been an energy that's sort of been weighing on you. It feels like you're carrying a lot right now. And so there was quite a bit that like shifted and moved just energetically in that space. But yeah, the word like pressure, bit of scarcity almost is kind of coming up. This feelings of like uncertainty and, worry, like things like that are sort of shifting and coming around that are hanging out in your field. And it's a bit of a weight. But I want to say underneath the weight of all that, you have this like really shiny, shiny light that's like glowing under there. And it brings me, like I start to get a bit teary because it's almost like dimmed, like because of this weight. And it makes me like emotional because there's this beautiful light that really wants to come out and shine and like do all the things that this light is meant to be doing. But this weight has kind of been holding things back. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, it makes me emotional too. If it's okay now to kind of share maybe what that is. Yeah. Okay. So you're spot on. And I really genuinely love that you're able to tap into that. Like things like that really intrigue me about this space. So spirituality, just so you don't know me, so I'm going to just kind of give you a little bit of my background. So I have always been what people would call kind of a bright light. Like everyone my whole life, before I even knew what any of that meant, they always say, like, you know, you have such this effervescence and cheerfulness, and you just brighten up the room when you walk into it. And I've lived a life that has kind of taken me on these different paths and these trajectories that have added that pressure and that confusion and constriction, because I think I came into this world so open, as we all do, but just the pressures of what I've experienced in my childhood, like so many people, and as I've grown up into adulthood, has really weighed on me. And I've been in the corporate world for my entire career thus far, which has been about 13 years. And it's just really not been the space that has worked for me, because as a person who like really wants to be the best I can possibly be in any situation, in any environment, with any person, you know, it's like the classic perfectionism traits. It has really just caused me to go down a path that eventually led to what I would call my dramatic, or it felt dramatic to me at least, spiritual awakening. And that happened last year. So I had been intrigued by the idea of meditation, and I didn't really know what that meant for up until early last year. I just thought, you know, you sit and clear your mind and you somehow see visions and life becomes better, you know. Mm-hmm. Clearly I've come so far since then, but I went through this meditation. I decided to just do it because I had gone through all these series of events of kind of what I would say was my dark night of the soul type of past 5 years up until that point, because I think in 2020 is really when my life shifted, but I didn't have the big awakening event until 2025. But what happened was I was in a meditation and I was just laying on my couch, and I had exhausted all of these other opportunities to help myself feel better, because I was like drowning under that pressure. And I finally just, for some reason, I guess everything clicked in that moment, and was able to connect with myself, which now I know meditation doesn't mean clearing your mind. It can just be presence. It's just presence with yourself. But I was very present with myself in that moment and had this really intense energy flowing through me, and chills and like tears and body, you know, convulsions and everything. And felt this something at the base of my spine. It like, I felt a crack, like a pop. And then I just felt this energy just like shoot up through my spine, all the way to my head. The back of my head became like really hot. Mm-hmm. I could feel this heat coming from the back. And then it's like it moved up to this part of my forehead, the top part of my forehead. Mm-hmm. And it felt as if a flower like opened, like petals were like blooming one by one, and it opened, and it was just magnificent. Like I can't even describe how incredible that experience was. I came out of the meditation and looked at my phone, and it felt like 30 minutes, but apparently it had been almost 3 hours. And I just did a lot of processing in that moment. And ever since then, my life has just been like rabbit hole after rabbit hole of like, what just happened to me? What was that? What is this energy? And so I come to find out that was almost certainly my Kundalini.
Kundalini, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even know what that word was up until after the fact, you know? Yeah. So this whole journey since then has just been like, stuff happens to me, and then I'm like, what is that? And I just kind of figure it out after the fact. And with all of that, with all of these changes, it has helped my sense of being, that just who I am, like that light, feel like it's like finally not shrouded in a shadow or I used to always say static electricity. Like it just felt like everything was like really staticky or foggy. And I couldn't, even inside of my mind, it used to be so dense. And now it just feels so open and clear. And kind of everything that I've been going through has led me to believe that I do have a space as like my future job, right? Like what I would like to do to kind of do that energetic exchange of how to make money. I feel that it aligns in this space. Now, that being said, I still have a ton to learn, and like I can't really help other people unless I can help myself first. But so I've just been in this big learning experience over the last, well, it was February 1st of 2025. So it's been a little over a year now. But yeah, my whole life has changed. So much has changed. So,
Hey.
yeah, that's a high level.
Yes. No, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that insight and background because it makes a lot of sense to what is coming through. So this feeling, it's like the weight and that heaviness that I was kind of feeling is misalignment, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this light that's shining underneath wants to fully emerge, but the weight is sort of the old programming, right? It's the old version, the old identity that you have carried for so long. So it's kind of like, how do I like you? So this is what I get. Even the past like year, let's say, has been a lot of awakening, awareness, realization, coming to terms with things, a bit of integration. And now your soul is kind of saying, what's next? How do we create this real transition? Now that I've like, been smacked in the face with this, and time isn't real. So like, what is a year really? It's like whatever you've been processing is what you've been processing in whatever amount of time that is. But your soul is kind of ready for that next step of how do I do this? How do I align? How do I create alignment for myself? Like with business, with how do I support myself, right? So there is this sense of, okay, on a higher spiritual level, you know exactly what you want to do, right? You actually kind of know, okay, I want to serve. I want to help people. This is what I meant to be doing here. I want to be a guide. I'm wide open. I want to connect. I want to, bring people on journeys. This is kind of what I want to do. And you have the analytical reality version that's still holding on like, okay, but how am I going to pay my bills? Okay, but how am I going to do this actually? What is this going to look like? Which can be very scary, right? Coming from one aspect of self to this side, but it's also really exciting. So there is a shift too. Like I want to talk mindset for a minute because there's a lot of moving pieces here. As you start to lift the weight, and pull back the layers and bring that light to the surface, with that is going to come fears. Right? So the weight is your ego holding things down, trying to keep you safe. And it's like, I'm protecting this light. It thinks it's doing the right thing. But really, what your soul wants to happen is reveal that light and let that light shine. So as you peel back that ego or that safety, quote unquote, that safety, this is where the integration starts to come in. So the belief system, the trust, all of those pieces coming forward of, can I do this? How do I do this? How am I meant to be doing this? And letting go of those fears and that past programming. So there's a lot. There's definitely a lot there for that, but it's already in process. So this isn't something that it's like, okay, you know, down the line, someday I will do that. It's like, no. This is already happening right now in your current timeline. There's already shifts moving and happening. It's just, there's like a catching up with your higher self. Your higher self is already living her purpose. She's already doing it. You're already doing it in the highest timeline. It's just your current timeline needs to come together and match that higher timeline. And that process, I believe, is a whole other spiritual awakening. It's a whole other process. It's a journey. And I love that you're open, that you've already stated, like, I am open and I'm ready. Like, you can feel your energy is like, yes, I'm ready for this. But then you're probably kind of going back and forth. You're kind of hopping between dimensions is what I like to call it, where you're like, one minute you're in the fifth dimension, like, let's go, I'm ready. Like, I'm fully open and I trust that all that is meant for me will come. And then the next minute you're like very third dimensional. It's kind of the hopping of the back and forth, which is definitely part of the process. And it takes, again, quote unquote, time to move through that. I want to let you know, I pulled a card for you prior to you hopping on because I got a message to pull a card. The card that came through is Reassurance of the Golden Age. So this is it's my Lightworker Oracle deck. And it is card number 36, which sometimes the numbers are significant and sometimes they're not, but this one came through as...
That's my age. I'm 36. So.
Are you 36? Okay. Yeah. So, wow. This came through as this is significant. And when I first tapped into it, I was like, oh, because 3 + 6 is 9. So this is also demonstrating to me sort of the 9 is endings, but it's also on the verge of beginnings. So it's kind of like completion. It's tying up loose ends, finishing something so that you're creating space for what's next. And this is the card here. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that very well, but reassurance of the golden light. And the key word here is reassurance. And it's a long, a long message, and I can send it to you afterwards. But basically, with the idea of, and the concept of reassurance, it's saying that you're on the right path. Like, just to let you know that even though it might feel really challenging, or you might be faced with challenges or difficulties, or it might feel like, what the hell am I doing? That's part of the process. And this is the reassurance that you have access to this golden light that is guiding you as well through this. And this is saying that you're on the right path. You're on the right path. And I don't always like using right or wrong, because I don't think that you make right or wrong decisions. Every decision is the right decision in that moment, really, truly. But I get that this message specifically is talking about the most aligned decision for you. But part of that, and again, back to the number 9, is the letting go. So there's something that you have to let go in order for you to move forward. And that might be like the corporate world. I don't know if you've already let go of that or the comfort of that. But that's something that's kind of coming up, of that job or that identity, even of who that is, so that you get to move forward. So in the next transition, I'm seeing sort of for you, for the rest of this year and like next year, is that letting go piece, and then fully allowing what you want to start to create. It's kind of like, I get that you kind of fell into your job almost. It was like, okay, well, this is what this is the next thing. This works.
Yeah, like, it's very much follow the path. Like, I've definitely been, this is what I'm supposed to do, up until last year. It's all been that way.
Yes. And now it's saying, what do you want? What do you actually really want to create? How do you, because I really get now for you, once you become awake and aware, there's no going back. Do you know what I mean? You can't go back, because it's then you are trying to fit a circle into a square hole, or vice versa, whatever that saying is. And you're always going to be faced with resistance and that feeling of misalignment. So whether you like it or not, you will eventually be forced to change. There will be a moment where you're like, I can't do this anymore, right? And if sometimes we try to resist the change, and we're like, okay, maybe if I just tweak this little aspect of it, I can still do this, right? I see this a lot in relationships. They're like, I'll just stay with this person, even though I know it's not right for me, but maybe I'll just, give myself more personal space or take care of myself better. And it's like, no, you're going to be faced with resistance, and that's going to eventually show up physically in your body, is what I typically see through like illness or, and this might be something you've already started to experience. I mean, when I tapped in with the heaviness and sort of the weight kind of, I don't know if you're feeling like aches and pains or, things in your body that are showing up, discomfort or sickness or illness or things like that, or headaches, where that's a big sign of misalignment as well.
Okay. It's very interesting you say all of that, because just to give you some more information. So I am in this huge transition in my life, because it got to the point late last year, like around October, where I was starting to feel like achy and just not myself. And I knew, because it had happened, after the awakening, that I did have misalignment in my life. And I knew that my job was the main driver of that, because I had changed so much in my life already. And that was really the last piece that like gave me that dread every day, and you had to wake up and like, oh, I don't want to do this. And so I did. I made a decision to leave the job. And since then, though, I've been in this series of like, I know I'm doing the right thing. However, the 3D, this is probably the weight you felt, the 3D, like, money, essentially. Everything results or roots from money. And I'm not in a position to where I'm independently wealthy. So, that pull back into that space has just been haunting me this whole time. Mm-hmm. Now, I haven't gone back, but I've been in this process, and it's been a really beautiful journey of just learning myself and what makes me tick and what doesn't, in the sense of creativity, because I finally felt like I can access that side of me that wants to express and create. And it's been very chaotic and sporadic, and I've dipped my toes into so many different things. But each one of them has helped me kind of understand what I like about that thing, what I don't like about that thing. Like, as it relates, I've done different types of writing. I've, done like graphic design. I've done all sorts of just different creations and little things, nothing that's going to bring in a bunch of money, but like things just to kind of figure out what I like, what I don't. Mm-hmm. That's exactly where I am. And I think the weight is very heavy at this point, because it's just that pull back into that world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, I definitely feel that. When I was originally doing a bit of that clearing, when I was feeling the heaviness, scarcity was one of the stronger energies, but I would love to do like a proper clearing for you, just to get, see really what is there, not just sort of surface level, but what else wants to shift and move, and see if we can create some movement in the energy side of things. So I'm just going to tap in to, let's see. Okay. Protection is actually coming up the strongest right now. So let me just see where we want to go with that first, and then we can do some energy work as well. Okay. So the first thing, this is what Spirit is like, okay, before we do any clearing, we need to establish this level of protection. So what is coming through is the statement of, I am love. I am loved. and I am lovable. So first and foremost, when I get this statement in the form of protection, what that's showing me is right now your heart space is going to be your biggest, I want to say boundary. So not that you have to kind of shield out people and energies, but sometimes, but for yourself, for you remembering and coming into who you truly are and your purpose and all of these things, the remembering and reciting that I am love is going to create a beautiful protection for your energy field as you move forward with your, I want to say endeavors, like whatever you decide to do, whatever path you decide to take, the end of the day, this is going to be your protection piece. And anytime that you are feeling as though you're not good enough, or what you're doing isn't worthy enough, or you're not being efficient enough, or whatever those things that start to come up, remembering that I am love is going to protect all of that, protect you from those darker energies that want to sneak in. Yeah, that's sort of the foundation. So I'm also getting for you to like put that somewhere, write that somewhere. They're showing me like, get a tattoo.
Chant it as my morning mantra every day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like make it part of who you are, because that's going to, again, like set that foundation as you move forward. You want that to be inevitable, that there's no question about that. Am I lovable? Am I loved? It's like, no, you are love. I am love. I am the source of it. So that's what's coming forward first. So when we look at energies, what we're going to do, this is how I do energy medicine healing. I will tap into the energies that are in your field that want to clear, that are not supporting you in any way. And then we'll tap into the energies that we want to call in to be downloaded. And then we do something called a divine reset. So it allows you to repeat after me and voice activate these energies and do the clearings and calling in of what is supportive for you. Does that sound good?
Yes, it sounds very wonderful.
Okay. Lovely. So I'm just going to, bring forward the energies that are no longer meant for Kelsey today. Okay, so the first one is helplessness. And I didn't mention this, but these energies can be conscious energies, or they can be energies that are just in your field. They can be energies that you've picked up from the outside. They can be deeply rooted. They can be surface level. It doesn't really matter, where they came from, unless I get a message that there's something very specific you need to know about that energy. We're just going to clear it today. Yeah. So there's the energy of coercion and manipulation. There's conflict and negativity, misuse of power. Okay. I'm getting called to connect in a little bit deeper here, because these energies are quite heavy. I'm actually getting that there's an outside force here. So you have actually opened yourself up pretty wide to energies that you might not even realize. I don't want to freak you out.
I promise you're not going to. This is very beneficial and helpful to me, so you will not.
Okay. I don't want to freak you out, but I feel like a darker energy, almost like feeding off of your light. So yeah, I'm sort of getting that in this process of you sort of awakening, opening up, there's some major protection that needs to happen. So because you've opened yourself up, it's kind of opened up your energy to some darker energies that have recognized you as this beautiful light. And so they're kind of feeding off of that. It kind of sounds gross, but they're sort of taking advantage of your light. So some of this heaviness that you're feeling too, and I don't know if you've been feeling like more tired than usual, or like a little bit more lethargic, or if you've noticed kind of like ups and downs with that. That's what's showing me is contributing to that. So that's not your energy. There is a darker energy there. So we're gonna clear this energy. I want to see if there's anything else that's coming up, but I don't normally get like misuse of power. That's not usually an energy that I pick up on. So this is sort of directing me towards something else is there. Yeah. But not, I mean, and we can totally clear that. So not to worry about it.
Yeah. I do want to say, I know you're in the process of reading, but prior to that experience and kind of this journey I've been on in the last year, the way I physically feel is so clear and open and free and like I mean internally, you know, it feels like brand new, like I'm like a new person. So anything that's not that is not me, you know, like it just feels like it's like intruding, and I don't have these wonderful energetic hygiene techniques yet. So I would love to learn as part of this, and of course do the clearing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And I don't think that a lot of people realize like how powerful energy is, right? And so when we do open ourselves up, and this isn't to be scary or to like freak people out either who are listening to this, it's like when we open ourselves up, we do have to pay attention to our energetic boundaries and protect ourselves, because like you're very empathic as well, or empathetic too. Like, and so I can tell already that your energies, like if you go into a crowd or you go out to a concert or something like that, you're going to leave there. You know, you might go in feeling like, woo, I feel so great. And then you might leave being like, I'm exhausted. Yeah. I am so tired. And it's not just because you were dancing and like having fun. It's also because you're picking up on so many other energies in this space. And that can be something as simple as like going to the grocery store. You know, it's like, so I think for you, learning specific, you know, energetic hygiene practices is going to be really important moving forward, especially because I do see you working with your energy and using that and tapping into what's coming forward for you. You know, this light that you have is meant to be directed, to be used. So there's a lot that's available there to you. But we want to protect it in the right way, not with the ego. We don't want to like protect it with the ego. We want to protect it properly, energetically. So, okay. Yeah, illness came up as another one, and conscious control. So I think that's everything, but I'm just going to double check. We will clear those, but before we do the divine reset, we'll see what missing forces that we want to call in. Okay. Yeah. So wholeness and integrity, love. Yeah. Love is a really big one. So love of self, is the bigger one. Love of others is already present. But love of self is really, really strong. Okay. And love of life. I'm going to say self and life. Immunity, safety, and boundaries. Okay. Perseverance and self-determination. Abundance and prosperity. And that's everything that wants to come through. So what we're going to do It's a lot. I know. It's, you know what? When I do this for the very first time with somebody, generally there's a lot. This is the first time because it's usually like, whoa, this has been hanging out here for a while. And yeah, usually when I get to like the second or third sessions, then it's like, oh, okay, we just really want to focus on one or two things. Okay. So do you have a word that you prefer to use for spirit? Is spirit okay, or do you like God or source or universe?
I think I like spirit. Yeah, spirit is good.
Okay, perfect. So just repeat after me as we go through. We'll do the return statement and then we'll do the recall statement. Okay? All right. So I now give back to spirit everything that does not belong to me, including the energies of helplessness, coercion, manipulation, conflict, negativity, misuse of power, intolerance, illness, self-destruction, and conscious control. And just take a nice deep breath in and just let all of that go. I forgive myself for taking on these energies. And I release myself and all others involved to the care of spirit now. And just take another deep breath in and just let all of that go. Nice. Okay. I now take back everything that does belong to me.
I now take back everything that does belong to me.
And is in my highest and best good, including the energies of wholeness, integrity, love of self, love of life, immunity, safety, and boundaries, perseverance, self-determination, abundance, and prosperity. And just take a deep breath in and out. I forgive myself for giving away my good.
I forgive myself for giving away my good.
And reclaim all that is for me with a divine reset now. I ask that my highest divine blueprint and consciousness on all levels of my being be restored. And I release myself and all others involved to the care of spirit now. And take one final deep breath in here and out. Just letting that integrate. We'll just double check. Is this divine reset 100% complete? Yes. Okay, beautiful. How does that feel?
That was really beautiful. Thank you. That felt really good.
Welcome. Good. A lot. That was a huge shift. So just so you know, just to be aware in the next 24, 48 hours to really like listen to your body. There might be, you might feel some shifts. You might feel more tired and things like that. Drink lots of water and just really, really take care of yourself. It's a good shift, but you might feel different, right? Yeah. Because there's a lot has been lifted. That heavy weight that I first tapped into at the beginning is not there. It's gone. It is gone. Yeah. So it didn't take a lot to shift that. Whatever that dark energy was, I'm not getting that it's there anymore. So whatever, it was attached to some kind of that energy. It's showing as much clearer. There was like a darkness, like a cloud of darkness kind of, and it's not there anymore. It's much brighter, much clearer. So it's
more me.
Yes. It's like your true self is coming through. And so you might notice too, over the next little while, like your ability to make decisions will be clearer. It's like the alignment will be there more for you moving forward. No, this is really, wow. It's so interesting. I never know what's going to come forward. And so, this has been so beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like me to tap into, or, any questions that you have?
I'm curious, how does one, especially someone like me who is heart-led naturally and empathetic, and I purposefully try to make, as best I can, everyone feel seen that I'm with. How do you protect yourself in situations like that to where, you're still being open, but you're not being too open to where you're letting it kind of seep into your bubble?
Mm-hmm. I love this question because I think everybody needs to know this. The biggest thing, anytime you're working with energy, really is intention. And so it's going to come down to a practice for you, not to close yourself off because you don't want to, again, you don't want to dim that light, right? You still want to shine it. But I think you could almost do a bit of a visualization, and you can start this out as a daily practice until it starts to feel like this is just how it is. It just feels like common practice. Okay, this is just how I am now. And then you can also do this practice when you know ahead of time that you're going into a situation that you might feel more vulnerable to that unwanted energy exchange. So the visualization that's coming forward for you, and this is more specific to you, but I feel like anybody could do this, is visualizing almost like a cloak over top of you of protection, or a bubble around you. And it's not that you are building up a wall around you. It's see-through, you can see through it. You can still connect, but there is a filter. So you're still allowing the flow through of energy, but the visualization is requesting for only energies of the highest and best good that are going to serve your heart and serve your soul and serve your energy, right? So it provides this protection where it doesn't close you off from the world around you, because we are meant to experience the world around us, but it just provides that extra little layer of protection. And all that you have to do is create the intention behind it. So you can just ask and say, and when it comes to energy, the way that I teach energy work is you command your energy. You are in control of your energy. So I command my energy to form this beautiful bubble of silver light protection, or you could use golden light. Actually, I would say golden light for you because this is the card that came forward for you. Is the reassurance of the golden light. So visualizing a golden light of protection around your auric field, that in and of itself can protect you. It's the intention behind it that truly matters. So because you are aware, now you're able to create that intention, and it's outside energies are not going to affect you. It's when we are not fully aware of what's happening, or we are not fully aware of how our energy is being siphoned or misused in some way or taken advantage of, that it continues that cycle. As soon as we know already, it's put a dent in the pattern. And now you get to choose and say, no, I'm going to create this protection around me. And I will invite in the energies of love and light that are supportive for me and my highest and best good and good of all beings. And I will block out the energies that are of lower vibration, that are not here to serve me.
I will definitely do that. Is there anything else that I need, since you have the connection right now, is there anything else coming through that Spirit wants me to know, like as I go on this path of figuring out my new career and this new conscious living era that I'm embarking into? Is there anything else I should know as I come into opportunities and have to make a decision, like to help guide me as I make those, to help make those aligned decisions?
Mm-hmm. So the first thing that wants not the first thing, but the strongest thing that I'm getting right here is Spirit wants you to create a connection with Spirit. So develop a stronger connection and develop your intuition. Start to get to really know your intuition, because it's there for you. It's like, it's already there. It's part of who you are. It's almost just, you have to get to know it on a level that making decisions feels easier, because, okay, yes, I'm following my intuition. This feels like a heck yes for me. So once you're sort of tapped into that, your decision-making becomes easier. And then the other thing is just trust. That's a huge word that's coming forward for you, is trusting in Spirit, but also in yourself, trusting that you have the tools, you know the direction, but you have to practice trusting it moving forward. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I don't know, do you have like a daily practice or like a connection process, or do you meditate on a regular basis?
I do. I meditate every day. For me, it's really connection through breath work. Like, when I meditate, I can get into these states where I feel very connected to my intuition and myself and just my whole field. But yeah, it's just a matter of consciously setting the time and the intention to do that. But yes, I do it every day. It's not like a set time every day, but I do it every day.
So Spirit is sort of showing, okay, this is beautiful. You've created this connection with yourself. Now, the next step is to sort of create a spiritual connection, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
For you. There's a deeper, higher, deeper, but a higher connection available to you that is going to open up more for you, higher level guidance. Because there's all of these different layers and levels of our being. And so you kind of have activated your third eye. Like your third eye is activated. Your intuition is turned on. Your connection to the self and your inner knowing is there. There's some development for sure that can continue to happen with that. But the way that you're going to be supported with that is in your connection with Spirit, with your guides. Higher realms, different realms, right? There's more there sort of for you to access. So opening up your crown chakra, Spirit said directly to me, she doesn't have to sit in meditation to do that. You can go about your day. You can go for a walk and just be like, you can feel spirit all around you. It's part of everything. You are part of source. Like you're a piece of source. So really it's just recognizing that, yes, you can have the practice and that's important to connect with the self, but also just in your daily life, like going for a drive or, whatever you're doing, just being like, I'm open to that. I'm open to the protection. I've created this protection too, but I am open to guidance. I am open to that higher level. And don't feel like you have to make it like another to-do list type of thing, but just recognizing in your daily life, like, oh, those little, like, I call them like sparkle moments where you're like, whoa, yeah, this is a sparkle moment. This is a beauty moment. This is, where you're fully present in your experience of life. It's like those juicy little moments. That's spiritual connection,
Okay. All right. Well, good. So it's just a matter of like consciously saying to myself and to my guides, like, hey, I want to connect with you regardless of what I'm doing in that moment. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And you can do that in meditation. You can do that at any point in time, like whenever it feels good or not good. Sometimes it's good to do it when you're like, it doesn't feel good right now.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. All right. I will.
Let me just do one final check over and see if there's anything else that wants to come through. I think we've covered everything. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. We are 100% complete. Lovely. Well, thank you so much, Kelsey. This has been
Thank you. Seriously, that I do genuinely feel so much different than I did at the beginning of this session. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And that's where we'll close this session. If you've made it this far, take a moment to notice if anything landed for you. Have you felt any shifts? What resonated or what brought something into your awareness? These sessions are personal, but they're never just for one person. There's always something here for you too, especially in the places that made you pause. If you're feeling the pull to go deeper, you can find more about intuitive soul sessions, the mind, body, spirit method, and conscious coaching in the show notes. You could also book a session for yourself, or if you're feeling called to learn how to hold this kind of space and do this kind of work with others, you'll also find information on the Conscious Coaching Certification Program. And if this episode spoke to you, I'd love to hear from you. Make sure that you're following the podcast, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs it. We'll see you in the next episode.